Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing you guys, whoever might be wondering, what I believe is the personal best M4A1 loadout in Delta Force. I've got a lot of FPS experience. Those who don't know, I mean, I'm never really active on YouTube and I never upload, so my name is Fights of Wrath. I was a top 50 player in Modern Warfare 2019. I've been Radiant on Valorant. Very good at most FPS games I play. Not really saying that to brag, just saying that so I get my credentials out of the way. Also a lot of Tarkov experience. This is what I believe is the best M4 build. I've got the Gabriel style long barrel combo, optimized for firing stability. Pretty much this whole build, before I get into the rest of it, is going to be optimized around absolutely maximizing the ranged output and DPS of this weapon to the fullest extent of the capability from what I've tested. I've been testing some builds for about an hour now, and tested multiple attachment combinations, multiple muzzles, different stuff like that, and this is just overall what I've found to be the absolute best for really reaching out and touching people at fully automatic fire, mind you. I'm not particularly good at video editing. As a matter of fact, I don't actually have any video editing software, so I won't be able to showcase really the actual range that this thing can really reach out to, but I've gotten some 150 plus meter kills with this thing firing in full auto. That is genuinely how easy it is to control. I'll take you into the firing range in a moment and show you guys just how much of a laser beam this thing is. But we'll run down the attachments first. So I've got that barrel on. I've got the Sandstorm vertical compensator on it. I've got an ACOG 3.5 times. Honestly, the scope is interchangeable. You can really use whatever you want. This is just what I prefer. On the patches, I have Ranger handguards, just to really double down on that control. On the upper rail, you can really use anything you like. You don't even have to use a laser. I'll go over that in just a moment, but I personally prefer using the D-Ball X2. If you don't want to use a laser, I would recommend throwing on one of these red dot sights, these canted red dots, very useful. I personally just prefer the D-Ball. I'll show you why in a moment when I take it into the firing range. Mag, I don't really go for extended mags personally in most games I play. I prefer just not really, I don't know, I find that my aim is precise enough and my tracking is good enough to where I can really make the most out of 30 rounds by default. I don't really ever personally have very many moments where I would say that I was like, oh man, I could have gotten that guy if I had a 45 rounder. After all, as we know, switching to your secondary is faster than reloading. Little Modern Warfare reference. Anyways, obviously have one of these on. Really any color you like, they're all the same stats. If you want to go crazy, be different, throw a green one or a sand one. Doesn't really matter. For the rear grip, we've got this AR heavy tower grip. Most of this build from my FPS experience was I'm trying to really, I guess, you can kind of visualize that the front of the gun is really optimized mainly for the range and the recoil control, whereas the upper and lower receiver, mag, accessories, and stuff like that are going to be mainly optimized for the little bit of handling and stuff that you might feel like you need, but I'll show you in a moment why that's not even really necessary with this build. And for the stock, same deal. Since we're really trying to reach out and touch people, I throw the UR Spec Ops tactical stock and optimize it for the recoil control and firing stability. I'll go ahead and take you guys into the range. I'll show you guys how this thing works. So, very minimal recoil input. I will show you just how easy this thing is to control. I'm not going to try to control it too much. The weapon sway might be something that throws some people off, but I find it personally very easy to deal with. You're already going to be moving your mouse to track your target anyways. So let's just show you this right here. This is going to be a controlled, fully automatic spray. So as you can see, obviously, there's not really much else you can do to mitigate that sideways recoil without it actually starting to rise up a lot. But, I mean, this will win 99 out of 100 gunfights if you and the other guy over here are spraying at each other. I mean, obviously it's not a perfect aimbot laser beam, but considering that's a fully automatic 30 magazine spray, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would say that's pretty good. And then moving over here to this target, I don't think any of those shots miss. That was 20 rounds. And then obviously right here, just beaming this guy down. So obviously not the greatest handling, but the reason that we throw this D-ball on here is because you can beam people with it, and I don't know if this is intended, but it kind of, at least to me, completely mitigates the need for any sort of handling or ADS accuracy. I don't find this movement speed for strafing to be too hazardous, I guess, in terms of getting it this low. I don't really find that it loses me a lot of gunfights, especially at this range, like these ranges. I mean, and that's with the laser. That's just me barely tracking, barely strafing side to side, barely doing any. I'm barely moving my mouse, and I play on extremely low sensitivity with 400 DPI. So I can't really give you guys a visual indicator to show you just how slow and how little I'm moving my hand, but it is just, I mean, you can see, that's not even with a sight, that's just with a laser. This thing is just, when it comes to consistently beaming your target, really reaching out and hitting those max distances and winning those gunfights, getting as many rounds on target as possible. So that's why I think this is personally the best build, because you really abuse just how much range and accuracy you can really tack onto this thing with all the calibrations without really losing much in the ADS speed side of things. I mean, I don't know, once again, if this is intended, but as of now, I mean, you can't really get much better of a sight picture than that. So for CQB, I mean, I don't struggle with the ADSing, and maybe in CQB the strafing might hinder you just a little bit, but I mean, at that point, you've already got such a clear sight picture, it should be absolutely no problem to track your target, even if you have to, you know, you're jumping around and stuff, you're both moving. 9 times out of 10, I mean, the TTK on this gun is so low anyways at those ranges that it's just such a good gun that it almost, in my opinion, mitigates the need to really be able to strafe quickly. So we'll go over to the calibrations now. If we go to the calibration page, I've got the barrel set to just plus 50. I didn't really think too much on this, to be quite honest with you. I mainly just really am trying to absolutely just maximize the recoil control. Most of this stuff can honestly come down to personal preference. If you would prefer to have that strafing speed, just bear in mind you're probably going to get different results than what I showed here, if slightly. Same goes with pretty much everything for the extra recoil control and firing stability, just really trying to turn it into as much of a beam as possible. Pupillary distance, to be quite honest, I just see green and throw it on. I don't really care much about the zoom. I don't really have much of a problem tracking it 3.5 times mag anyways. But pupillary distance probably doesn't really matter. If it does, someone correct me in the comments. But yeah, we'll go over the attachments one more time. It's the D-ball or any interchangeable laser sight, or if you don't want to use one of those, you can double down on even more control with a Ranger handguard. Just stack a bunch of those on there. And then for the optic, once again, interchangeable for the most part. I wouldn't recommend throwing a hammer if you were going to use the D-ball, because you are going to have to do one more input with your change sight key in order to cycle through all of those. So I just recommend throwing on either the 3.5 ACOG or the 6 times ACOG, or really any other magnified scope. Doesn't have to be this much if you don't really care about that much. I mean, this build is workable. You could maybe throw like a 2x on there, and then on some of the attachments you could maybe go for more of that strafe speed. But this is just overall what I've found to be the best, most efficient build for really just winning every gunfight at every range. And really, I mean, it's I can't emphasize enough just how easy this thing is to control. I mean, I am barely inputting corrections for the recoil deviation on my mouse. So anyways, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this was useful to some people. If nobody watches it, oh well. If this blows up, then hopefully everyone starts using this. Maybe I'll start getting beamed from this exact same build across the map over and over again. Anyways, yeah. See ya.